Good morning, Facebook fam. It's your girl, Neo Soul recording artist Lahla-Hadiya. Back on a Wednesday. This Wednesday for
Hump
morning
day.
tea with mommy. What's going on? How are you guys? Come on, y'all know the drill. Let me see those thumbs up, those hearts, those happy faces. Let me know everything is all good. You guys are in the land and the living, and you ready to get your day started. I am amped. So I had a very long night last night, but it wasn't like this past weekend. So I'm not as incoherent as Monday. I'm on a natural high. So I'm gonna bring my mom on, and then I'm gonna tell you how how my night was and everything. Why those hearts and those thumbs up are coming up. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get her on here. Hey, hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
You missed it. You missed it, Mama.
Uh,
Where were you?
like Cinderella, my invitation must be under the doormat because I didn't get an invite.
You missed it.
But
So
that's okay. That's okay. I got my camping dress on now.
let me
I
tell
got
you
my
guys,
camping gear
like today, I'm on a natural high. I am tired. However, I'm good. Like I'm not I'm not out of it and woozy like Monday. But today I am tired because um the cash, it is never a dull moment in the Castro house, man. Let me first say that. It is never a dull moment. So, the children had this bright idea last week to go camping. So they've never been camping before. I've been camping. My mother, she was a science teacher at one point in her teaching career, and so we did the Camp Schmidt, but we also did outdoor stuff. We did camp, we did all of that. So I wanted to give my children the experience, right? So and not just my children. So anybody who knows my husband know he's straight from Brooklyn, and he don't do no great outdoors if it ain't concrete and like the little basketball backboards. Then yeah, he's in the house. So tonight, I mean, last night was the first time ever that we have gotten him to go um, and be outside. They had been talking about this for like months, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch from the inside." But they actually got him. Now he was out there with all his equipment. I ain't never seen nobody go camping with like uh, two computer monitors, an extra monitor, your phone set up. You got the daggone
That
electricity
ain't
coming through.
camping.
You
That
got the
ain't
electricity
camping.
coming
That
through the
is
little
not
core
camping.
hole in the tent. But nonetheless, he did it. I'm trying to let you guys see. I took
Of
a
course he
few
did.
pictures, but yeah, so like it was amazing, and I kept watch. So I had the little old ladies; they stood out there for a little bit, but I had the little old lady gang in the house, and so I could not go to sleep because I slept with both doors open. I slept with my office door open, which leads to the front of the house, and I slept with the front door open, just so I could hear around me. I was camped out outside with a hammer like on the outside of the tent so I can keep watch. That's just the cop in me. But I was out
No,
there,
that's
but
the
then
mama in you.
but
That's the
then
mama.
one of my baby girls, she was getting kind of restless, so she came in, but she did good. She stayed out there till like what 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was good. But we had fun. It was amazing. The dog was out there. He was psyched just to be out. He was like, "Yo, it's well past my bedtime." So he was excited, and he came in with me. But it was awesome, guys. Like yeah, it was fun. So anyway, if you see me doze off towards the middle of the show, that's why. And then I got up at 6 o'clock and cooked these farmers breakfast. I ain't even eat yet. I cooked them scrambled eggs, bacon, fried potatoes and onions, fried apples, biscuits, and orange juice they had with their meal. Like, who does that? Like, that was the best camping trip ever. I didn't even get to experience it. But anyway, that's how my night went. So, you missed it, Mom. You were supposed to be here.
I didn't get my invite.
They got their uncle came out. He like almost seven
I
feet
didn't get an
tall. They
invite.
had him in the tent. And then Princess Layla, she had her own little cot that was in there. That was like above everybody else. So everybody else had to sleep on the floor with their sleeping bags and stuff like that. But it was cool. It was cool.
Well,
Anyway,
uh, I'm just speechless. Like I say, I didn't get an invite. Maybe because, Lon says because I was science teacher. Yes, I was science teacher, did Camp Schmidt and all of that. But above that, a part of my undergrad degree had to do with community service, community recreational leadership, and all of that good stuff outside. And one of the things that I did was to designed a campsite called Camp Logan. And when I camp, I camp, not with all the frailties like computers and
we gotta break him in. Like that was his first time, so I ain't complain.
and look, they if they were really wanting to camp, they could have camped out on my property,
Nah, we not
real
ready for
camping
that.
with
She got
the
lions and tigers and
tree
bears. Oh my.
and yeah, and the animals and but I'm glad they got that experience. That was really, camping is really one of my fun things that we used to do back in the day. So I'm glad they had that experience and with their fun uncle.
He's the best.
So
He's
that
amazing.
was really good. They made memories, and that's what it's all about. And that kind of is a segue to our topic. What gives
Yes. Let's get
what
into the topic. What gives your
yeah,
life meaning? Come
well,
on, guys.
I'm gonna
Even
tell you,
without my phone, like I still
y'all,
don't have my
y'all
phone
probably
and I'm
already
smiling.
figured out what gives my life meaning, and I'm just gonna one or two words, maybe, and then
Of course
turn
not.
y'all loose to do your
Of
thing.
course not.
But of course, God. God is the center of my life. He gives me life, He gives me love, He gives me everything that I need. And through Him, He gave me this wonderful family. He birthed me into a wonderful family. Then He gave me a wonderful family of my own who is creating a family of their own. So, you know what? Really, for real, real, my life meaning is in having family and loved ones, around me and being able to reach out to them, pour into them. And that to me gives me life. Even through all of this that we're going through, I've never missed a beat because my family is what is giving me life through Christ Jesus. They're giving me life. That's real talk right there. That's real talk. Um, I'm never alone in terms of, people say, oh, staring at four walls or whatever. I just I'm happy. I'm happy in the fact that I have family. I have grandchildren where there's never a dull moment, as you see from the camping experience.
Yeah.
But yeah,
When it all goes
um,
down at the
and I'm
Castro
gonna tell
house.
that son in love of mine. I'm gonna tell that son in love. Camping does not include electronic
He a
devices. That's the
producer,
whole
man. He
idea.
was out there
That's
mixing
the
and
whole,
mastering in the tent.
the whole idea of camping is to get away from, the hustle bustle of
We
everyday
get in
life.
there.
That is not camping. You wait till I see him and talk to
We
him.
get in there. We got him out there. That
Yeah,
was step one. We don't.
shout out to my son in love. That is not camping. I appreciate the effort. The world appreciates effort, but gives credit for results. And I would have been really, really super excited to know that you had your camping gear on and you didn't have your cell phone or your computer and all of that. Nah, not camping. Nah.
So that means we gotta
Next
try it
time,
again. We gotta try it again. This time we're gonna have
yeah,
you out there.
got to do it again. Got to do it
So I
again.
just realized, guys, because I still haven't found my phone. Um, So I've been doing things to keep myself happy. So if I smile and laugh extra, is to keep crying because my phone has all kinds of important things on it. So I just realized that so I borrowed my one of my daughter's phones, and I logged into Facebook under mine, and then it made me go to the app. And so when I went to the app, I'm actually logged in as her. So I'm responding. I'm like, yo, Layla watching this, and I realized it was me. So
Hey,
I'll
Aunt Jackie.
probably
Oh,
just
wow.
respond to you
Gerald,
guys after the
Kevin.
show so you know it's coming from me.
Hey,
Unless you're on the watch party, I can respond to you there. But if you're on the actual live, then yeah,
hey, look, you
I'm
guys.
responding as my
Let me
daughter.
say that. I just want to say this. I do have on my camping outfit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Cinderella.
You
I
a
didn't
day
get it
late and
right,
a
but
dollar short.
I got on my camouflage and, camouflage. I'm ready.
You
I'm ready
late. The
for my
stakeout was last night. What's going on, Gerald? What's going on, Vanita, Kevin, Antoine? What's
yeah,
going on, Kings
all
and Queens?
right.
So,
Everybody's here.
Vanita said, what gives her life meaning is Jesus first, then her children, her grandchildren, and then her music ministry. Um, I'm with you. Like well, I don't have any grandchildren, but I think I know for me, what gives my life meaning is the purpose that I serve, um, like in society, in my family's life, in you all's life. That's what gives my life meaning. Like, when when what I do touches someone in a way that would further enhance further enhance their relationship with God, or um, would be instrumental in God drawing them to them. That's what gives my life meaning. Um, yeah, that's why I do what I do. Like, I love to see people win. I love to see people smiling and happy. And so when other people are down, I'm down, and I feel insignificant, because I know that, like, there's this feeling inside me. Like, I know that my purpose um, has something to do with people, other people. And so when I see other people down, when I see other people struggling spiritually and even physically and emotionally, like I automatically gravitate to that, and I'm automatically thinking and asking God, okay, what can I do to serve them? Like, what can I do to make this situation better? So yeah, that's what gives me meaning. Like, just being in you all's life, and seeing my children smile. Those are just chiming in. Like, my kids wanted to go camping, so guess what? The Castros was out there camping in the yard. And you know, um, just to see the photos being taken in their eyes was just amazing to me, and it was meaningful to me. Like, it let me know that the things that I do throughout their life um, are going to be impactful, for years to come. Even when I take my last breath, when I close my eyes for the final time, like, these are things that will forever stay with them. They'll remember these moments. So the things that I do with my children, with my family, with my Facebook family, even on this live, like the things we talk about, when I get the feedback, when I get the private messages about the different shows, and even questions about people's lives and how they could revamp things to make their journey better. Like, when I get those things from you all, like, it lets me know that my purpose is being fulfilled. Like, that I'm in my sweet spot. So yeah, that's what gives my life meaning. Let me see.
God and family. Like the
Lord,
old song says, if I can help somebody, my living
sing
shall
it.
not be in vain.
Sing
And
it.
it's through my village.
Sing it.
And this thing of adding on to my village.
Sing it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sing it?
Um,
All right. She
yeah.
she faking.
And if
Ladisha
they can't
said,
give me, if you know what, if they can't give me life, boop,
did she say boot?
boop, don't associate with negativity. Always positive.
Do that again.
Absolutely.
Boop.
Yeah. Boop.
That was cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh, she
Ladisha
got shade.
said,
Where
I'm
my
I'm on a
shade?
natural high because I'm tired as I don't know what, but I'm
Where
happy.
my shade? Oh, I
Um,
was trying to be nice, y'all. Mm.
ain't never trying to
Let
be
me
nice to me, yo.
let me
Not.
switch up here. Mm. Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't take her. I can't take her. I can't take her.
Carry on.
Lordisha said, believing in Jesus and knowing God has a purpose for me and my children gives my life meaning. I agree. Like I agree. Like all those things
Absolutely.
that make up who you are. Um, uh, your job, like which your purpose that you serve, in your career. You know, the friends that you have, your interactions with them, your interactions with your family, your interactions with strangers. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that gives my life meaning because I know I have a purpose, and so when I see certain things happening, when I see certain things being transformed and things transitioning into, you know, different spaces, because of my existence, then I know that that I'm worth it, that I'm worth something, that I'm that I was put here for a purpose. Um, Mary said, "Hey, Mary, my children and being a helper." Yes, that was you, like since the very beginning. We was goofy in school, but that was you. Like that was your personality always. Gerald said, "I had my son at 43 after doctor said I couldn't have a child. He gives my life meaning." And let me just tell you, like this dude loves his son. Like the relationship between he and his son is just so amazing. Like it it lets me know, aside from like, how my husband deals with the children, it lets me know that there are men out here that they take their responsibility as a father, as a dad, serious. And it means something to them. It's not just about making or helping to create a being. You know,
Nothing like daddy love. Daddy
yeah,
love.
it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to see like men on men love. You know what I'm saying? Meaning
Absolutely.
like that father, that son, like because
Yeah.
it's naturally you got mama's boys. You know what I'm saying? But like to see a man like love on his son is just the most amazing thing ever. Like it's just amazing, like to see that because um it's like growing a little man. You know what I'm saying? It's like yo, like I can see a man in the making. It's crazy. Um,
And it's so important to
very
have.
important.
Yeah, it's so important. Nothing like, speaking of which, isn't Father's Day coming up soon?
It
Oh, it's so
is.
designated Father's Day, but Father's Day is every day, just like Mother's Day is every day. But yeah, I think officially we'll be celebrating Father's Day. Is it this Sunday? What is it, third Sunday? Somebody tell me.
It's the
I always
21st,
get
I think.
confused.
I
I,
know when Mother's Day is. I'm sorry.
I thought it was the third
I'm sorry,
third
O'Shea.
Sunday.
I know it's somewhere in June. It's like the 21st or something like that. I got you. Like,
The
my husband
third,
will be straight.
third
Like,
Sunday.
I
But yeah,
remember when the
I
time
see.
come, but
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure the date. But if you ask me when Mother's Day was, I can say.
Okay.
If you ask me when my birthday
Moving
is, like,
on. Moving
I tell
on.
you about a month.
Kevin, what did
Um,
Kevin say as meaning to his life?
he
What did
said,
Kevin say?
God, my daughter, and my grandkids, and blessing others.
Mm. Oh, it is. I was right. Kevin says Father's Day is this Sunday. Yeah, that's right. So we've
Isn't
got
that the
between
21st?
now, it's the isn't this the third Sunday, I believe.
That would be the
Third Sunday,
21st.
usually. But yeah, so hats off. We will be celebrating our fathers. What, Friday?
Why
We'll
you
be
cover your
celebrating
face,
the
Joe?
weekend. Absolutely.
Look at those kings answering up. They like it's Sunday.
That's
I can hear the
right.
bass in y'all voice now.
Salute to the kings. Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Nothing like that. Yeah, manpower. Yeah.
Vanita said my son considers his 8-year-old son his best friend. Oh, let me see. I'm trying to like comments are
Okay.
coming in.
Got
Comments
a
are
minute
coming in.
on it today. All right.
Hey, Dewana, your brother was
Dewana.
camping, man. Your baby boy
Dewana.
was camping. Dewana's in the building. Good
De-
morning, sis. Brooklyn in the house. Your baby
oh,
boy,
Dewana camps out
your
all the
your, your
time.
baby brother was not well. Nah, she do a different kind of camping on the department. They don't be camping
That's
out.
what,
they,
that's
don't,
what I'm saying. Read between the lines.
they don't be camping out, camping out. But
Read between the
we had
lines.
Johnny Castro in the grass, in the tent, in the yard last night.
I love camping. Like I
Call him and
said,
check on him. He is not okay. He's like, no.
my earlier days, that's what I did. That was my handle, camping. Yes,
But
love it.
yeah, like so,
With
I'm seeing the trend that everybody is talking about as far as what gives your life meaning. It seems to be the going trend, which is family, um, and of course God, um, and
God
just
is the center.
and
Is
just
the center.
just your acquaintances, those who have grandchildren, your grandchildren, and it brings me to um, this question. So when you think about what you consider um, instruments that create meaning for your life, right? It ties directly into, like, I'm seeing that it ties directly into one's purpose. Like, this is your purpose as you pass through this journey of life, right? And so I wonder, why. Let me see how I can word this. If our connection with other people is connected or directly tied to our meaning for our lives, which is directly tied to the purpose for our lives. Um, what is that your motivation for life? Like when you wake up in the morning, um, is that the motivation? When you stand in the mirror and you look at yourself, is that the motivation? Like, somebody needs me to survive. Like, there is somebody out there that their blessing is tied to my interaction with them. Their blessing is tied to the purpose that God has for me when I walk out this door, and what I may say to them that God wants me to say. Like, is that your motivation? Do you consider that your motivation, or do you have a motivation when you wake up in the morning and you get your day started? Because I find that I've been around a lot of people, especially like at work, where midday they like, yo, this is for the birds. You know what I'm saying? And there's no motivation towards the middle of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, this was pointless. I'm ready to get off. Instead of being pumped up, because it's like every moment of this day um, creates opportunity for interaction, and that interaction is directly tied to the meaning of your life, which is directly tied to the purpose, which means you're worth it and you're necessary. And so, is that not motivation enough for you to get up and be excited about this day of journey, like, in life, if that makes sense? Like, what's your motivation? Like, what
For
drives you to walk out that door knowing that these things that bring meaning to your life, like what you're about to embark upon, um, is
for what
directly tied to them?
that's it. I stick to it. Uh, I hold to the fact that God is my motivation, and the older I get, the more, the closer I get to you. There's a song, the closer I get to you, the closer I get to God. Really, I am totally, and this is, going churchy on you, but it's real. It's real. It's real. It's spiritual, but it's real. Um, before I put a foot on the floor when in the morning, I thank God. In other words, I claim the fact that when I put my foot down, it will work. I will walk, and later I will talk. I will do what to start out with, that I'm breathing. That's my motivation. I'm alive. I have another chance to do. the things that will satisfy my purpose for being here. And true story. My motivation, we joke about, me getting up and dressing every day. That's my motivation, to always, you know, just dressing, just the mere fact that I can, I'm able to do that. Um, for me, that's a motivation. It's a motivation not to lay back in the bed and think about the troubles of the day, but to get up, get out, get happy, and
Get up,
know
get
that
out, and
there
get
is
something. Don't let the
know that I
your
have
life
purpose in my life.
pass.
That's my motivation. And then the cherry on top is knowing that I have family who who care about me and whom I, of course, care about. That's motivation. You know, when I see I'm gonna tell you, for real. When I see my little babies, the youngest of the brew, the youngest, oh my goodness, I get such life. I get such life when I see Lovey and LaJanae. Those two, all of them give me life. Oh, the others, oh my gosh! But the baby gives me life. It's like I gotta do something. I'm always, um, I've been retired, it's going into 5 years now, but I'm still thinking in terms of making little learning tools for those babies. I'm reading articles. In fact, La, I have to get it to you. I printed out an article yesterday um, that's going to help us in our communicating with Largenet. But yes, when I see those babies, they give me such life. When I see Layla, when I saw her on Sunday, when she spent that time with me prior to her surprise, it gave me life. You know, I'm like, I remember my husband, I want to say it was New Year's. It was a New Year's, may have been Father's Day. I don't think it was Father's Day. It was New Year's night. And he went outside and shouted, I'm a father, like just and I felt that excitement from day one that I had my daughter, and I expressed to you guys a couple of days ago of how I still get the sensation of the softness of my babies being rubbed across my face and placed on my chest. I still get that sensation, and so for me, to wake up and to know you have breath, you're alive, you can feel the breath when you blow on your hand, you put your feet down and they do work. It's motivation for me. It's a lot of motivation for me. And then to know that you have children, offspring that will carry on, and they have children that will carry on. Motivation for me. That's keeping it real.
I figure I must give a shout out to my biological sister. Dumpling, Jorsha's in the house. If
Hey,
you don't
Dad.
know, I am one of nine, and I'm next to the baby. So my big sister is in the building,
Yeah.
in the virtual building. So shout out to her. Y'all throw some hearts up for my sister. And then the
Flood
king
gators.
of the Castro Castle is up in the place. I need all the hearts to flood right now
Oh my
because he has
God.
survived a night of camping in our backyard in a tent with all his electronics, but he made it through. I need
Okay.
y'all to flood this thing with hearts for my baby because he did it and it had a nerve to try to scare the kids. Talk about it's a lizard on the tent, knowing he'd have been the first one running out that drain. But I need y'all to give some hearts up. Yeah, I see you. I had to tell it, babe. I had to tell it. But I need y'all
Let
to
me
throw some hearts up because he did good. He did good.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
He did good. Mama got some words for you because
I
she ain't
got
never seen
some
nobody
words.
go camping with like two computers,
No,
an extra monitor.
keep it
He,
real. Keep it
he
real.
got the electricity strip inside the tent, two computers, a monitor, and his phone. But he did it.
That is a disgrace. That's a disgrace to the camping society.
But
Yes.
he did it. I'm so proud of you, baby. You did good. I love you for
See,
that.
that's why he's spoiled. That's why he's spoiled. part of why he spoiled y'all. Yeah. Mm.
So speaking of that, speaking of my king, right? So when I wake up in the morning, so we have this thing or whatever, where at one point in our relationship or in our marriage, I redecorated our bathroom. And so in our bathroom are pictures of my husband and I. And so we'll talk about that a little more like when, we premiere the show, The Why, which is a show about relationships. And it'll be hosted by my husband and I. But anyway, um, I redecorated. She's shading. I redecorated our bathroom at a certain point in our marriage, and so there are pictures everywhere of my husband and I in the bathroom. So like everywhere you turn, like you cannot get like if I was mad at him, the bathroom is not where I want to go. But all over the bathroom is just pictures of us, and and it was along the time when I was getting ready to relaunch the show that I had created called The Why. And the concept of it was basically bringing back to remembrance the reasons why you got married in the first place, why you got into that relationship. And when you get that reason, let that be your weapon of choice every time you walk out of the door, to be able to sift through all of the distractions, to bring you back to that person, right? And so when I give that example and I talk about that because also when I wake up in the morning, even before the pandemic and even now, before I walk out of my bedroom, um, I think about all the reasons why I'm here, all the reasons why God allowed me to wake up again, right? All of the connections that He's allowed me to make, all of the input that He's allowed me to give into my children's lives, right? And so, how's it? And that is my weapon of choice for the day. Like that's my motivation. When I say weapon of choice, that's the thing that they block out the distractions that would come and distract you from um continuing in your purpose for that day. So like when you get to the middle of your day and you're exhausted and you're tired and you're like, yo, this for the birds. Those things that you thought about before you even stepped out of your house. Like, yo, I'm doing this because I am necessary. Like the struggles that I go through, the interactions that I go through when I get back to my children, these are things I can pour into them to help them grow so that when they're on their journey, they can find these tools because they know what they look like in order for them to continue. For the people that I meet. Like there is somebody that God wants me to meet today. There is somebody that God, whether I'm scrolling on Facebook, whether I'm in my Zoom meeting that I don't want to be in, and everybody's like the dude that's talking, is talking a whole in everybody's brain. But there is somebody on there that God wants me to interact with. So I'm going to be excited about this Zoom call, not for the sake of the fact that I got to sit in this meeting, but there is somebody that needs to see my face. They need to see me
Yes.
excited sitting in my chair
Excited.
while we at home during this pandemic in my little sweats and t-shirt, and I'm excited. And they like, yo, why are they so happy? You know what I'm saying? And you get that private message like, yo, you all the way in this morning, and that's your
Never
moment. You
forgets
know what I'm
it.
saying? To pour in. So I say all of that to say, what I do with my husband. I wonder if we began to transfer that type of energy in our purpose and in our meaning for life. So all of these things that you talked about, as far as what gives your life meaning, what gives your life purpose, God, your children, your grandchildren, your careers, your interaction with other people on here. Like when you get on here, that shit. Like when you wake up in the morning and this is one of the first things that you're like, yo, I'm about to get on morning tea with mommy. That energy should already be there because there is something that's going to be said and I'm going to respond, and somebody needs to see my response because what they're doing on their end of life, God is directly has his hands in as well. And so I am that instrument that helps that because he works simultaneously. So like we can't ever be caught slipping because how we move through life and our interactions are directly tied to someone else's purpose and meaning for life. And so we got to be in the right place at the right time. Like we got to be where God intends for us to be. So our mindset has to first be there so that when we get there physically, we're already in our stance so that the interaction can happen, because that interaction has to happen because they're going to have an interaction with somebody else, and that's how it spreads. It becomes infectious. That's how it spreads, and that's how God's word spreads. And not just through, hey, everybody go to church, everybody go to virtual church, because there'll be some people that never darken the church door, and we may be the only God that they ever see. And so church for them is us, which means that we have to be positioned in the right place at the right time. So, in order to do that, you got to be prepared here first. And when you wake up in the morning, you get yourself amped up, you get yourself ramped up for the experiences that God is going to allow you to journey through. And so that there has to be a motivation. So those things that you consider to be your meaning for life should be your weapon of choice when you begin to tackle your journey for that day. That's what I'm trying to
There
say. Did
you
that make
have it.
sense?
You see, that's what gives me life. I told you, God knew exactly what he was doing. And, if we actually search our lives, don't really have to search. Just look within us, around us, and I think, when I was a child, I used to say, I want to have 100 kids. And of course, my sister would laugh and everybody, 100 kids. Little did I know that as I grew and
I ain't want
matured
kids.
and went to school, and that I would have literally, figuratively, 100+ kids. And I go through life adopting kids, even with my teaching. I started out elementary school, then middle school, then high school, then college. So I literally have hundreds of kids, who call me mama. And, it's funny because even in the classroom, I had kids who were calling me mama and later on grandma. So it's always been a thing for me to plant the seeds. My life, I will live on. I will live on long after the body, the breath is gone. I will live on as the very, with the fact that I have all of these seeds that I've planted that have now sprouted. And as you can see with Lahla-Hadiya, I've never been a real talker. I'm usually subdued, and I talk more in my older in these later years than I've ever done. When I was younger, I was just one to I was like just souping up, sponging information and research and all of that. But now, and I tell even with singing, I'll sing, but I have seeds that have sprouted that will do the singing, that can do the singing now for me. I have a daughter, I have grandkids, and
Wait a minute.
that's the
Wait a
awesome thing.
minute. You trying to get out of singing?
No, 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 no. Not getting out of it. Just saying I can sit back like, yeah. I got this is life for me. Being able to, and as I sit here morning after morning, new mercies I see. And then listen to Lala, I'm like, you know what? That God is an awesome person. He's an awesome spirit. Look what he gave me. I don't even have to talk about it much. The Lala idea, as you guys can hear and see, is you see Lala, you see me. You see me, you see Lala. That's my mini me.
Did
That's my
John,
mini me.
John?
And
So Johnny said he's your favorite, not the other kids or
who
Lala
said
Hadid.
who said who said that?
Johnny Castro talk about he's the favorite, not the other kids or
Yeah.
Lala Hadid.
You know what? And let me
Stop.
tell you
Make
about
it through
that.
camping
Let me
without
tell you.
electronics first.
Let me tell you. Let me put my shade resistors on, because the funny thing is, Johnny has never been. I mean, he's my son-in-law, but he's always been like a son to me. And I used to share to him, "You want to be my son? You call me mama, then I'm gonna treat you like a son." So that could be good, that could be bad, because you're
He's
gonna get the
spoiled
same
all the way
blessing.
around. My sister on here, the one to spoil him. My mama
Yeah.
spoil him.
No,
He
no, no,
just
no, no.
spoiled. Nah,
Mama
he's
loves him,
spoiled.
but mama don't spoil
We're
him.
gonna put that
I'm
on a
just gonna
different
get it with
show.
him. And Johnny will tell you, he get that little puppy dog look when I come down on him. But I say, hey, that's the advantage, disadvantage of thinking of me as a mama, because I'm gonna treat you like a son, you know. I'm gonna treat you like a son. And when I do
I
that,
be feeling
I ain't
like
got
the
no one
outcast,
but
like
love
I'm
for
married
you.
into the family. Like I be like, yo, hold up.
Yeah, yeah, that's my son-in-law, and anybody who knows me know that, you know. And you know what? And the funny thing
She said,
is,
look out,
when they
Johnny.
get in, when believe it or not, they are a married couple. So when they do get in their discords, in their moments of, mommy, tell him, I ain't in it, I ain't in it. Y'all handle that yourself, and they will not. They know that.
Whatever.
I
He spoiled. He take his big
for
wheel and
real.
march right
This is
on
real.
over there, and I be looking like the wrong one.
This is real talk.
Whatever. We gonna
But
say that for another show. Where my
okay,
shades at? Where my
and I
shades at? Look, let me just stick. Lord help me,
you
Jesus.
want to borrow
Let me
mine?
just stick, baby. You did a wonderful job last night camping out. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, babe. Just,
I'm proud of
was
you,
that, did
Johnny.
I do
Hey,
good,
listen.
y'all? I
Hey,
did
listen.
good.
I am. Mama is going to plan your next camping trip. It's going to be on my property, on my terms. That's when we'll really see how fit you are for camping. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
Be safe,
Listen.
sis. Y'all get some hearts for my sister. She going out. She's a police officer, and she's one of the good ones. So I need you guys to throw some hearts up to cover her, ask God to
Okay.
cover her life.
Always covering you,
For
dear,
we
with
have to make
prayers.
a trip up
Mama
in Why.
always got you in prayer. Yes.
Be
Yes.
safe, sis. Love you. So yeah, like what he talking about? No,
Why does Johnny have these big eyes up there? Why does he
I'm waiting for
why
his famous line. How did I get in trouble?
yeah, but
I'm waiting.
look at look at the eyeballs that are up there. Johnny, see, I know where that came from. See, she'll be giving you all these props. She giving you all these
Yo,
props.
he's spoiled. I'm trying not to make this show about you, babe.
Hey,
I can
hey,
do it. She trying to make me go there.
hey, y'all. That's a private, that's a family joke. But Johnny knows what he's doing. Look at the icons. Look at the
I know he
emoji.
trying to be funny. Hey, my third grade teacher's in the house. What's going on, Miss Hall?
Who is that? Miss Hall. Nita Hall. You mean she's in the country?
She
What?
probably not. She just tuning in from Australia or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She better not be out of the country with all this pandemic going on. Oh
You
my
know she got
goodness.
her way. She traveling in a bubble, but she gonna get her traveling. I feel you,
Yes,
Queen.
yes. All right.
But like like you all have said, and just I know sometimes we don't think about things that deep, but sometimes it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's necessary, like because we weren't purposed to just think shallow. Um, and I believe in God leading us, but He also calls us to be. He wouldn't give us all this brain if He didn't expect for us to store some things, store some knowledge, store some wisdom, for us to be able to exercise that wisdom and knowledge as we journey through life, which requires us to think and sometimes think deeper than normal. So the whole reason for me saying the things that I said earlier was for us to now add even more purpose and color to our lives, and not just, what do we say, one of the segments, exist but live. When you wake up, that is the start of your journey for that day. And so when you're getting yourselves ready, your motivation, like you're motivating yourself, you're encouraging yourself, you're putting on that armor, you're getting those tools ready, that are going to ward off those distractions that come your way throughout the day, those things that bring your life meaning. So, when negativity comes your way, or somebody try you and you like, yo, they about to find out, like those, that's your weapon of choice to know, like, my response to this, or my reaction to this, is it necessary and beneficial for the purpose that God has implanted in me? Because I have to interact with this person, because that's true meaning in my life. That's purpose in my life for what I pour into them. So if I'm allowing certain things to brew inside of me, what exactly is coming out in the tea? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm allowing this to soak into to my being and soak into my attitude, and causing me to react a certain way, what does that do for now when God has intercepted my life with somebody else? And that's the true meaning of my life. That's the purpose of my life. And now, you know, I'm trying to sift out all that negativity. There are people that I've heard, like just this past weekend, there was somebody who made a statement, because there was something going on around them that was vexing their spirit. And, you know, we had this celebration, for our daughter, and they made a comment that, they almost didn't want to come because of all the negativity that was surrounding them, and they didn't want to bring negativity. And so I immediately, thought about how do we guard ourselves from those things, you know, because as the day went on, it was it was revealed that their presence was necessary for certain things to happen, certain interactions that happened, certain, statements that were made, that caused the young people that were involved, with this weekend's, celebration, was necessary. So had they succumbed to the fact that they were surrounded by all this negativity and was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna come, I don't want to, it would have, it would have stunted the growth of what God had moving or what he was stirring up. So their presence was absolutely necessary. And it caused me to think like, okay, so how do we guard ourselves from those distractions? Because that's what they are. That would, sometimes, you know, people unknowingly, dump down on you, and they don't do it intentionally to bring your spirits down, but they're just trying to dump it. You know, they need somewhere to dump, you know, this trash, and they just dump it, you know, where they see space. and
But
and so they don't always do it intentionally, but it happens. And so if you are a person that believes that your life has meaning, that believes that you have purpose, then what do you do to safeguard that? And it has to start not when it happens, not when distractions come, but prior to that. Because you can't, like, how many people know, like, yo, if somebody throwing a blow, you can't wait. We used to tell my youngest son all the time in Taekwondo, yo, keep your hands up. You can't wait till somebody throw the punch and then want to put your hands up. You got to keep your hands up. If you keep your hands up, then you ready, and you can, whatever direction, you know, you can block. You know what I'm saying? You have do whatever you got to do, but you have to be prepared. And so, do we think deep enough to be able to prepare ourselves at the beginning of our day for those distractions that will come? Because they will come, because we have purpose, and we have to safeguard ourselves. We have to preserve what it is that God has brewing in us, because it's necessary and directly tied to somebody else, because God works simultaneously, and we are his arms and his legs and his feet and his hands, you know.
okay, excellent segue. Um, Again, from
He
my
just cut me
background,
off
I,
like,
keeping it real, keeping it spiritual, but keeping it real. Put on the whole armor of God, and that armor, because we are God's legs and arms and eyes, so forth. God allows people in our midst who will bring that positivity. That's something I've always encouraged my kids to do, and that was to surround. That is to surround yourself with positive people. You know, negative will drain you. It will drain you. One of the reasons I stay prayed up, I'm gonna tell you, and it gets more intense the older I get, the more intense my prayers become. Um, because of the fact that there's so much evil, needless to say, around us. Some, we walk into with our eyes open, and other times we walk into it blindly. So if you constantly have your armor on, and that armor is in the form of positivity, is in the armor, first off, of putting God, allowing God in your life. And secondly, obeying him by connecting with positive people, allowing the love of God to spread, to just completely engulf you, completely surround you. And so that's one of the things that I do. This side of my life is even more intense, but the older as I was growing, maturing, I've always surrounded myself with positive people. Every now and then, yes, those negativities will creep in. All Satan needs is a little pinhole. But all we need is that little mustard seed size grain of faith. and that through faith I discern, even when I'm in crowds or church, even more so with church, that discerning spirit of mine, you know, allows me to decide, the pros and the cons, and so again, with the meaning, that meaning in my life, the things that add meaning to my life are certainly my family, because I have planted those seeds. I am still planting those seeds. And I know they get tired of me, oh, here comes another sermon. But the thing is, even when I'm long gone, these things will come to, they will blossom. They will blossom in your seeds, in my children, in my village. Um, and for me, it's not only my blood family as it is my family that has surrounded me over time. I have students who I taught way back in elementary school who I'm now, still in touch with and have those relationships with, where we can talk and share. And I had one student who was waiting for me to start my school so that she could send her daughter to my school, which was one of my goals, is still one of my goals. And even though, just like the book is coming,
You gonna
is
start it
coming,
before
and
daughter
you're gonna have the
graduate?
naysayers, you're gonna have the doubters, you're gonna
That
always, and
one, I'm
keep this in
motivating you.
mind. Keep this in mind. Those dreams and goals that you have, you can always have people who will discount it and say, oh, yeah, right, sure, you're right. But you have to stay positive. You have to stay focused. You have to not allow the distractions. That's where I'm really going with this, because there are going to be all kinds of distractions. That's why it's so important to have in adding, those things that add life or make a meaningful life for you. You have to keep those carefully around you. My armor bearers, I have a few. I can count on one hand and fingers left over. Other people who I keep in close proximity to me, close proximity. And Lord knows, in my 70 years and 40 some years of being in the education profession, I've had people who have, yes, made me want to quit. But because of what I know has added life and meaning to my life, it ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And but yeah, there's so many things, you must not, you must not get allow the distractions to take you off course. You can't allow that. And how do you not allow that? You got to stay prayed up. Those of you who believe in the word of prayer, you've got to stay prayed up. You've got to allow God to be the center of your life.
And so I'm listening to what you're saying, and so now I have a question because I know the way I operate is a little slightly different, and I
Mm,
want and this is a learning space for all of us, not just me always pouring. And
absolutely.
so there is distraction that comes directly from Satan, like those adversaries and adversities that
Most times
come
they are.
to penetrate, right? And then there are distractions that come from those that are in my inner circle that are that have been affected by their distractions. And so now they become a distraction to me because they've allowed whatever distractions that they had to dictate their attitude, and their demeanors. So for me, I stay prayed up. I pray constantly. At the same time, I also feel like God is calling for me to put legs on those prayers, and not just flight, like flight and just blockers, because these are people that I'm supposed to interact with. These are people that God is calling me to say something to, and not just avoid so that it doesn't penetrate my space, so that I can walk in my purpose and the meaning of my life, because the meaning of my life involves them. So the prayer of just covering me um is not enough for me. I'm like, God, what is it? So now that I've prayed, like I know that you've covered me, where when I go into this fiery furnace, I'm not burned, but I have to go because I gotta get her or I gotta get him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not praying that you cover me and allow me to be able to, walk through it and keep going, or walk around it, or get me over it. Like, I'm going through it, and not only am I going through it, but there are some instances in my journey that through those fiery furnaces I am to halt a little bit, because I went, you took me through it because there's somebody in there that I'm supposed to come out with. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm talking about in regards to when I wake up in the morning, and I'm asking God's covering over my life, and I'm constantly in prayer about my movements, my steps. Allowing, asking him to order my steps, but I'm constantly talking to him, conversing with him. Like, I pray about it, but then throughout the day we talking. Like, we're conversing. I'm asking him questions, because even though I can say, God, order my steps, there's so much happening, because he knows I can handle so much, even more than I believe I can handle. And so I have to stay in constant communication with him. So I'm like, God, right here, like, am I supposed to stop right here? Is this one for me? Is this the one that you want me, to interact with? Or am I just supposed to say hello? And that's the seed that I drop. Or am I the one that's supposed to stay, and talk a little bit, and get in deeper? You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to him. And so for me, what my prayers look like are slightly different than my conversations with him, if that makes sense. Like, when I'm praying, I'm usually either thanking him for something, asking him for something. Um, but when I'm conversing with him, I'm just, I'm talking. I'm asking questions. I'm not asking him for a thing. I'm asking questions. I'm asking for knowledge, and I'm specifically asking for knowledge about a specific thing. Like, I'm not just praying, God, I would that you would give me knowledge. I'm like, all right, God, look, she just walked past here for the second time, and I feel like you want me to say something more than just hello. Is this my time, or was my seed just to say hello? To me, that's not my prayer. That's a conversation with God. And so, prayer is good for me. That's good, and I hear it, and I'm cool with that. I believe it, I receive that, and I know that to be true. At the same time, for me, and I'm wondering if that deep down inside is for anyone else, um, is prayer enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that goes back to that constant communication. Like, you can't have a relationship without communication. So we can't say we have a relationship with God if we ain't talking to him, And it's not just those moments when we praying. It's, I'm talking to you. Like, I'm walking with you. I'm in my car. Like, this dude just gave me the finger, Lord. Like, yo, hey, or like, I'm in the grocery store. This is the second time she looked at me, and do I be like, yo, what do I give her that look, like, yo, what are you looking at? Or is this the moment? You know what I'm saying? Is this the moment? Is this the segment in my journey that I'm supposed to say more than just hello? Because I don't know what's going on in her life, but God knows what's going on in her life. So the second time around, I'm like, all right, is this for me? Was I supposed to say hello, get my stuff, and roll up out the store, because and avoid the distraction? Or was this one of those distractions where I'm supposed to, like, this is where I give input, because you have something in me that needs to be in them, so that they can get rid of the distractions, the adversities, and the adversaries that have penetrated them, and cause them to stumble on their journey. Like, that's where I'm at. Where is there anybody else that think like that? I don't know. Like, that's my question. That's what I'm asking.
Is that a question?
I mean, I'm giving how I feel. How do you think about that? Like, what do you think about that? Does that make sense to
Well,
you? Um,
well, it makes a lot of sense. When I think of prayer, or when I do prayer, prayer is a conversation with God. And in a conversation, it's not a one-sided thing, it's a two-sided thing. So I pray, which is my, conversing with God. And what many of us missed, self included, early on in my life, was just praying and praying and praying and praying, praying, praying. But was I listening? And I've said this previous broadcast that for me, um, praying is not only talking to God, but then listening, because He does give a very explicit. He answers explicitly to us, for us, and that's the part. Uh, when I reflect on these 17 years, you know, that's the part that for me creates even more meaning. The fact that not only can I talk to God, but He talks to me. He walks with me, He talks with me. There's a song that goes with that. And it's so true. I get those kumbaya moments when God speaks to me, and it comes in different ways. And this is the really mystical, it seems, as you're growing in the spirit early on, and like the new birth of the spirit, when you really are in communication with God and His spirit, when you get those answers, when you hear God speaking to you, and it's so awesome because He does it in such miraculous ways, and so for me, as you're saying, you may be thinking one way and positively, and then like in the cartoon, here comes that little devil. It's not always in a red suit. In fact, most times it's not. uh Many times devil's carrying a Gucci bag, or maybe rags and rags. So we've got to stay connected with the Spirit to the point where we can know when God is answering us and responding, and keeping also in mind that His time is not our time. Our time is not His time.
Right.
It's a different clock. So and that's what I've learned and am still learning this side of my life, is to discern, to know, to realize when God is speaking to me, when He's
Right.
responding. And that's when I personally, and I'm gonna be using that word till I die, those kumbaya moments, those
You throwing
really,
shade
really
again because I said that I'm showing
moments
how old
when
I am.
you're like, the angelic music and the
Right.
choir, the angelic choir singing, and those are the times when you may see tears rolling down my eyes, when you may see me just shaking my head. How to say, if you can't say a word, just wave your hand. That's those moments. Um, and I truly believe the older you get, or the older you get, just like when you're first born, it's the closest. It's that close moment with God. I
Mm-hmm.
believe babies and the elderly, you know, you're getting closer back
Yeah, I
because you're
believe
going
that.
back to the source, you know. And that's why as I grew older, I started to realize that when you see a baby smiling, he's not necessarily smiling at you. I believe that the
When my
baby's
baby look up at me, she don't see no wrong.
yo, no wrong. I used to say, Lord knows that was my famous saying when my grandbabies were born. When she look at me, she don't see no wrong, and that is so true. But I really believe that they're still in communication with their maker, with their creator, those babies, and they're smiling at the angels who have been sent to guard over them, to watch over them, and even now with children, we were talking about the innocence, difference between
Innocence
innocence
and
and,
ignorance. That's yeah.
that's why I believe with children, that the innocence of a child, and Christ says somewhere in His word that He would, that we be, like children,
Like
because children have no discretion. You want to hear the truth? You ask a child. They may not be able to articulate like we, and certainly not, but if you really listen, if you really listen, you will you'll get it. You'll get it. Um, that was one of the things I used to tell my kids, my school kids on all levels. The greatest part, the biggest part, the most impactful part of my learning came from my students. I learned from them. I got all the book learning and all of that stuff. But when it came to really those I got it moments, it came from my students, you know. And if you really take the time to listen, if we would take the time to listen, you would get it too. Stop being, oh, they don't know. Now, I had to correct a old sister in the church who it was said to a younger sister
Yeah, man.
in the church. Oh, you your child, honey, baby, you don't know nothing because you too young. I said, and the young lady's tears stopped.
I
But
think
I
people just
started
like
well,
saying that. I'm too old.
and I said to her, I said,
They
I
just
got
like
this. I
saying
said,
it.
let me handle this. Let me handle this. And I had to share with the old sister. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. I had to share with her. No, 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 no. You can't say that. You don't know what God has placed in her
This is
heart.
true. This is
You don't know what God is doing through her that you need to take notice and stop and listen.
this is
So never discount what the young people, even with what's happening now with the protesting, with the rioting. Martin Luther King said, when people protest and people riot, they are angry, yes, but there's a message in that. There's a message in that. You need to ask yourself, why are they doing this? They're
yeah.
not just doing it for fun. The real protesters, they're doing it because they're upset. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so, just going back to this topic, what gives your life meaning? That's something I think we each have to do. We have to search our soul, our innermost soul, to find out those things or to recognize. I won't say find out, I'll say recognize the things that give our life meaning. You know, I think, I believe that during this pandemic, more people are recognizing or being able to recognize the real meaning in their life. I believe that. I'm going to drop the mic on that.
Good because we over time. Yo, it's always a
I
pleasure,
love the love.
like picking you guys' brains and just talking and
Yeah.
conversing and gaining knowledge, giving knowledge and wisdom.
Hmm.
It's amazing. Like I said in the
So
beginning, this is my purpose. This is the meaning for my life,
it
and
is. It is.
I laid dormant for a minute. There were some people who, like those people on here that knew Lala from way back when. Um, like they know that that's the type of person I was. Like I'm always talking, always spitting knowledge or something like that. But I think in the era that I was in, more importantly, or more specific, like the church that we're currently in, like I kind of like laid back a little bit. And so people didn't know, like they really don't know who Lahla-Hadiya is, and I kind of like felt comfortable with that, like being this mystery chick that just
Eyes
sang,
have not seen,
but
ears have not heard.
God like was pulling on me and tugging on me, and it's like you're like you weren't meant to stay quiet, and so like I said, this show was birthed in me like years ago, but I just was like, and finally he was like, look, you better do this, in my constant conversation with him, you better do this, and it has proven to be so therapeutic to not just myself and my mother, but everybody that has come on here. Like we have connected people,
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
beyond just what we talk about,
Yeah.
like things that were needed in somebody else's life. They were looking for somebody, and I'm like, hey, such and such that's on the live, they actually do that, and we're connected people. And so like I thank God that he heard me when I said, order my steps, please. And then, you know, he is there every time I want to converse with him and I want to ask questions about certain things. Because there are times when I create these, I'm very organized. So I'll create topics for the whole season. And it's like, that's 16 episodes. And so then God will be like, oh, not today. Today I want you to talk about this. And that's what will happen. And it comes from my conversation with him. And just talking like, we were on here and something was said. I know we were talking about this topic, but somebody said such and such and such. And I just think we need to touch on that. Is now the time, or do I sneak it in next chapter of this whole thing, what I'm saying, or do I move some things around? And that's why I always tell you guys, between 10:30 ish, because I'm having those conversations with him throughout the day, and sometimes it's 11 o'clock when he answered me, and
Yes.
and I'll put the topic up
It's
there.
just like a message. It's like preaching a message when, you may have, the theme for the message, whoever you're speaking for, the theme for this particular service is this, but God has something else that he needs you to give to his people. And that's to say, it's no different from what Lon's saying with what God has placed in her, is for her and is for that time, you know. So it's really a good thing when what's they say, something about people always don't go by what they set out to do. You may start out with one thing, but God, you're going right, and God says, no, I need you to go left. Okay. So, I'm getting, that's a part of where I am this side of my life, is learning to take God's navigation over mine. Okay. So praise God.
Yeah.
Uh, mhm.
So
What can
a couple
I
of things. So tomorrow is the last episode for this season. We,
say?
yes, have come to the end of our
Oh
journey
my
for season
goodness.
3. Like, isn't that crazy, guys? I'm talking about 16 episodes in a season, and we have already, as of tomorrow, completed season 3. That's amazing. God is
Wow.
amazing. And so
Amazing.
there are some awesome topics. I don't think we had a topic resurface yet, so that's
No,
amazing. That's amazing. It's
no.
a lot to talk about, ain't it? So
Right. Yes.
I need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because there's some things some
Please,
people are
please,
just
please.
chiming in this season. Like, there are some really deep thought provoking topics that we have discussed. Subscribe to
Definitely.
the YouTube channel. I think season 1 and season 2 are already up on there. They've been up there for a while
They are.
now. And after tomorrow, you know, if I make sure that I cook my techie breakfast and make sure, I do all the things that make it feel
Yeah,
like a
you be
king,
nice to
then
us.
maybe
Yeah.
season 3 will be up before next week, you
You may
know.
even get a raise.
Maybe, so
Maybe.
y'all send those, those that mojo my way so I can do that and have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We love it. We love it. We so
Friday, we are going to have a special segment. I did not forget, I was throwing shade. Friday, we're going to have a special segment um, of morning tea with mommy. Something real special is going to go
oh,
down.
oh.
And I'm not going to say what it is, but something real special is going to go down. And
Mhm.
so you guys should be in the building. All my fellas should be in the building, because the topic for Friday is gonna be fun. We do fun Fridays, but thought provoking. So the topic for Friday is gonna be fun, but I'm gonna have something special in the mix, because that's what I do.
Ooh.
So all my fellas, my faithfuls that are on here. Um, I'm a married woman. I'm a Christian married woman. So hear me when I say this. I want to
Woman of
honor
God.
you. Please. So I want to honor you, and just like we did for the 2020 graduate celebration, I do want to honor you, and I want people to get to see some of these kings that are on here. We have some very amazing, gorgeous, talented, gifted, spirit lifted kings in this live, and so I want people to see who these people are. You know what I'm saying? See who we talk chatting with when they typing and stuff,
Yes,
giving these
yes,
profound
yes.
statements. So I want you to send me your best shot. You can inbox me. You can inbox my mom. You can email the picture to morningtwmommy@gmail.com. so that we can do a slideshow for you guys. You all of you guys who was there for the 2020 graduate celebration. You guys know what the slideshow looks like. So it's running the whole time we're in the segment, and so I want to honor you guys, our kings in the building. So send
Yeah.
those nice uh after God's own heart pictures, you know,
Headshots. Oh, I like
headshots,
headshots.
whatever or whatever you do. You're a
Yeah,
mechanic.
whatever.
You're
Your
a
Dapper Dan look.
producer. Y'all already know I'm a flood it. If I don't get y'all pics, I'm definitely gonna
Oh my God.
flood this
Please,
live
please,
with my baby
please
because
send your pictures in. Please, 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 guys.
I have no problem doing it. Y'all
Oh
already
my
know. So,
God.
fellas, I'm trying to give y'all some shine. So go
Take the
ahead and
chance.
send them in.
Take the
Go ahead
chance.
and send them in. I want to honor you because I got love for all of you and I appreciate
Mm,
you. Some of the fellas on here I know personally, and so you are men that I would be happy to speak well about in
yeah.
anyone's presence.
And if you have your dads,
Yes. If
you
you and
know,
if you
if
have pictures with your dad, if you have a picture of your dad, ladies, I don't want to
absolutely.
leave you guys out.
Yes,
Um,
especially the eligible. Let me stop.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What is this turning into?
No, no, just
Baby,
kidding.
you see this? Did you hear that? Nah. So yeah,
Just
nah.
kidding. Just
Simmer down,
kidding.
grasshopper. So, ladies, if you have pictures of your dads, um,
Yeah.
you with your dad, definitely send them in so we can give a shout out to them. Those who are here, those who are not here. I definitely will have my dad in the lineup because he was the king of the house that I grew up in, and he was amazing in that. We all have our crosses to bear. However, I am who I am because of my mom and my dad, and so I appreciate that. Good, bad, and indifferent. So I will be honoring my daddy. So if you have pictures of you and your dad, send those in as well. Again, you can inbox me on Facebook. You can inbox my mom on Facebook, or you can send the pictures to morningtwmommy@gmail.com, and our techie will get that slideshow prepared. And I'm going to need that um,
ASAP.
yeah, as soon as possible. If you guys can
ASAP.
start sending me that today, I'm gonna unfortunately have to make the deadline tomorrow, um,
Mhm.
so that by the end of the show, so that
You have it
he can get
Friday.
that done,
Yeah.
or he is going to not be a
Please,
happy camper.
please.
Um,
Yeah.
but then I have some surprises. I got some surprises, so y'all be in the building on Friday.
All
Um,
right.
I love you. My mama
Love you
loves you,
too.
and you know God loves you most. It's
Yeah.
your girl, once again. It's your girl, Lahla-Hadiya, wrapping up another segment of Morning Tea with Mommy. It's been awesome. It's been real. You know, we go deep in here, and I enjoy every moment of it. I love you guys. And until
Love you.
tomorrow, 7:30, bright and early in the morning, I will see you later. Holla at you, girl.